As the mountain fog clung to the ravines of Ifat, a silent force crept ever closer. The valley of Simbra Kure, an ancient corridor of war and passage, lay nestled in the highlands like a trap waiting to spring. The Christian Empire, once supreme in its seat, now stood on shifting ground, and from the east the storm approached, not of wind, not of rain, but of steel, fire, and a name that echoed across kingdoms: Ahmad ibn Ibrahim al-Ghazi. The Highland kings of Abyssinia summoned their might to halt the tide. Thousands of spearmen, archers, and cavalrymen descended to Simbra Kure to face the Lion of Harar. But Ahmad had learned in the deserts, in the hills of Zila, and from the ashes of Hubat, terrain is either a weapon or a grave. He read the valley's curves like scripture. This would not be a battle of chance, but of orchestration. The plan was carved not in ambition, but calculation. Imam Ahmad divided his army into 3 wings. A phantom cavalry would provoke the enemy with sudden movement. Hidden infantry would scale the ravine's edges to encircle. And in the center, the Imam himself would feint a retreat, pulling Abyssinian strength into the maw. It was not only military genius, it was psychological war. He would make them overreach. He would break them, not only in flesh, but in faith. The morning sky burned crimson as the Abyssinian cavalry descended into the valley. Trumpets called war, echoed by the shriek of Adal horns. The center held just long enough for the bait to bite. Then, as if summoned by the breath of the land itself, the crescent closed. Screams filled the gorge, earth shook, and the banner of the lion rose against the dawn. Atop the northern ridges, the lioness watched. Bati del Wambara, calm as mountain stone, waited until the enemy faltered. Then, with a simple nod, her forces descended. Garad Sadiq's infantry blocked the ravine exits. Spiked pits were uncovered. The Christians were not only surrounded, they were swallowed. What began as a clash became a crumbling. Cut off, cornered, and shaken by the maneuver's precision, Abyssinian lines buckled. Their famed cavalry, blinded by terrain, could not charge. Their footmen, brave and devout, fought until the last. But faith, too, can shatter against the rocks. And when the final blow came, it came not from cruelty, but from inevitability. Simbra Kure would be etched not in scripture, but in memory, a place where the earth bore witness to precision, to unity, and to a rising star that no longer bowed to empire. Ahmad, son of Zala, Bati, daughter of Harar. The lion and the lioness stood at the gorge's edge, not as conquerors, but as history reborn. But the storm was not over. From the west, a sea breeze carried whispers. Foreign sails approached, cannons and armor, and from the ashes of the fallen, a new defiance stirred. The lion had roared, the empire had bled, and the world was only just beginning to listen. What happened at Simbra Kure was more than a military maneuver. It was a shift in destiny. For the first time, the Christian Empire's heart trembled. Its generals lost faith in geography. And in Harar, songs began to rise. Songs of a queen whose hands carried the banner, and of an imam who turned valleys into empires.